Hello everybody and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I am your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And today, guys, we're looking at some MLB players who their very presence right now, based on the amount they are getting paid, might be hurting their own team. Yeah, exactly, guys.
Imagine being on this
literally,
list.
it's like you do not want to be on this list. Your team probably will pay to get rid of you if they had the option. Before we get into these players, guys, who are hurting their own team, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below. Let us know who we missed. Now, first things first, I do want to come out here and say, all respect to these gentlemen right here. All respect to these gentlemen. You cash those checks, you put them on the bank, you make some smart investments, and hopefully, boys, you pick up your game of baseball a little bit, whether that be through health or whether that just be through on-the-field performance, and you can get paid again. So, definitely no bad blood to any of these guys. But if they continue doing what they're doing, or if their circumstances continue, their teams are not going to like their monetary investment. First dude.
Yeah, let's start with the first dude. So this one we have to do because we're Blue Jay fans. Hasn't hurt us just yet. It's Jose Berrios. Now, the reason why I say it hasn't hurt us just yet is because last year, if you look at Jose Berrios' contract, he only got paid like $10 million. So, if anything, it's like, oh, he put up a Yusei Kikuchi type year, $10 million. That sucks. But the scary part comes in the next following years, 15, 17, 18, 24, 24. If Jose Berrios doesn't pick up what he did previously before he signed his contract, then the Blue Jays are going to be hurt quite a lot by it.
Well, and objectively speaking, like, literally just looking at his performance last year, he did hurt the team. He actually did with a negative 0.5 WAR, right? So he has to be better. Even if you paid him, $100 for the entire season, it would still be hurting us, right? So it's like he just actually needs to be better. And considering his payday is going to go 1.5 times what he got paid last year, we need to see that half, on-field improvement sort of thing. Like you just need to do more.
The best thing about it is that he is healthy, and it isn't totally out of the question that he's going to be bad forever.
100%.
It's like he's going to be good. Hopefully.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's just, the big problem lies with his fastball. He gets absolutely smoked with it. So, if he could find some way to change up, make an adjustment to the batters, because they're clearly teeing up on that fastball, I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, also, too, for those of you wondering, where's Yusei Kikuchi? Why are we not talking about him right now? Realistically, this is more of a future projection because of how much money Jose Berrios is inevitably going to get paid. Yusei Kikuchi, again, it's just he is bad, and he's probably going to hurt us. But for the investment that we made, he doesn't warrant being here.
Yeah, and exactly. And this video is also looking at a lot of guys who are really
way
overpaid.
Way overpaid, which brings us to our next dude. And I want to come out and say once again, this contract is completely earned. It is deserved. He has earned his spot in the Hall of Fame. I'm talking about Mr. Miguel Cabrera. All of these, there's no comments on him. I love the dude. I love what he's done for baseball. But, once again, objectively speaking, to pay a 40-year-old $32 million off of what was his OPS last year?
622.
622 year from the following season. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Look, that's the thing when you sign legends and Hall of Famers to long deals. Look, in the beginning of his career at Detroit, my God, was he ever special?
Earned.
And you would take those years for that much money. You would absolutely take those years. But then obviously the fallout. This is what you have to do. It's currently hurting the Tigers. I mean, they're not a good team right now at all. And they're eating up a lot of money. Shout out to Miguel Cabrera. Good on you. But this is his last and final year. So we'll be sending you off and you don't have to hurt the Tigers anymore, bro.
Take that money, throw that into the investments, big man.
Do it.
You earned every single cent of it. The Tigers probably do not want to pay it at this point anymore. But that's, again, like you said, right? It's they knew that this was going to come eventually.
Exactly.
It is very rare to see a player still smashing 40 home runs at the age of 40.
Exactly. The power's gone. So anyways, good luck, Miguel. Enjoy retirement. I can't wait to see you 2023 for your retirement tour. Another guy who might hang up the cleats as well after this season, and a former Blue Jay himself, is Mr. Josh Donaldson.
Well, he might hang up the cleats, like, involuntarily speaking, right? Because there might just not be a team out there willing to pay him any more money.
I know.
Right?
No, even if he puts up a decent year, I mean, look at his last year.
Yeah.
He put up a 682 OPS, and you might get, if you bounce back with like a high, like a low 700, like maybe you get a 1-year deal on like the Washington Nationals. But is he even going to want to do that? Relocate there for chump change? Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, so this could be the last and final year of Josh Donaldson, if that, because he's got a mutual option, am I right? Mutual option?
Yeah.
If that mutual option does not get picked up, which, let's face it, like, he's going to have to do something if the Yankees want to hold on to him. Because even with Miguel Cabrera, Miguel Cabrera still had like a 250, 260 batting average.
Exactly.
Josh Donaldson is chilling around like the 200
Low
mark right there,
200s.
which is just not good enough.
And here's the thing, Josh Donaldson, known for his home run pop, I think he only had 15 last year, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I know that for a fact, and it's just not that good.
No,
that's not
dude,
enough.
He is 1,000% overpaid, and speaking from a Blue Jays standpoint, like, couldn't happen to a nicer team, you know? We got all of the best years with Josh Donaldson out, then the Yankees, they're like, we'll take on some of that contract, and he decided to stink it up.
Hey.
So,
for an 800 OPS, like which you had before he joined the Yankees, I'll
100%.
take it.
Absolutely.
Not anymore,
right?
though.
Not
He's
anymore.
hurting the Yankees.
At this point, Josh Donaldson is overpaid. We love you, though. You earned your money, but maybe not this year.
Absolutely. Now, this guy, I think that from here on out, the list gets pretty juicy. We started off some, like, little low ones, but you can't argue with this guy. This guy's getting absolutely overpaid because he's just straight up not on the field. That's Steven Strasburg. It's quite shocking when you take a look at Steven Strasburg's career the last 3 seasons. 8 starts in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And he's made close. Oh my God, he's made well over $60 million. Like, that is incredible.
And that's the thing, man. Like, I don't want this list to come off as if, like, we're bashing people for being injured or anything like that.
No.
That's not what it is, right? Because then I could take literally any single person, like Hyun-Jin Ryu, for instance,
For
who's gotta
sure.
get Tommy John, and be like, oh, well, you're overpaid. And I guess you could make that argument. But when you look at Strasburg, like, this is a different level, right?
Yeah.
He is getting paid one of the highest average annual values in the league for a pitcher, just in the league in general, but also for a pitcher.
Yeah.
And he just hasn't contributed to his team at all. And I think at this point, too, I don't even know what I can expect. Even if he was healthy for a whole year, is he still good at baseball?
No, he's not. I believe it's let's see here. Steven Strasburg, a 6.89 ERA since he's been pitching for those last 8 starts. So it's not even good.
Right.
I mean, if you expect him to be, if he's healthy, sure, maybe he doesn't have that 6.89 ERA. But you got to think about the WAR in that case. Like, if you're expecting vintage Strasburg with the low 3, the high 2s, the WAR that you're losing on the Washington Nationals and the money you're paying is just hurting the team. That's the point, right? So obviously, he is definitely overpaid, and I wouldn't want that.
No,
I wouldn't want that.
It's ultimately hurt the team to a standpoint where you could argue that Steven Strasburg and the next guy that we're going to talk about, which is Patrick Corbin, has really, like, actually sunk this franchise.
Yeah.
Because if Steven Strasburg and if Patrick Corbin were still very good at baseball, because there was a time where these guys were the top of the top.
Oh,
they were like literally the cream of the crop of
2019,
baseball.
look at that.
Look at that. When they're winning their World Series, right? It's like these guys were incredible, and they make their money off of those years. If these guys were still elite, the Washington Nationals might never have needed to trade Juan Soto. They might never needed to sell off all the guys that they did. They might even still be competitive.
Yeah.
So you could make a strong argument that because Steven Strasburg is getting paid $35 million, and because Patrick Corbin's getting paid how much?
Let's check here. Ooh.
$24 million. These guys might have single-handedly sunk the Washington Nationals.
Absolutely. That's over $50 million in value right there. And the difference between Corbin and Strasburg is Corbin's actually on the field.
Holy crap, he's so bad.
Yeah, dude.
19 losses. 19 losses that he had last year.
Yep.
A 6.31 ERA. He had a negative 2.5 WAR. A negative 2.5 WAR. That is so
the
horrible.
ERA of 5.82. It's bad, and that's the difference. Look, Strasburg, maybe when healthy, could be still Strasburg. I truly believe that no one just takes a turn like that in their career without that injury.
But
No,
Corbin did.
I'm talking about Strasburg. The level of Strasburg, where Corbin had a good year coming up, had a good year, got paid, and then he just turned sticky. He turned stinky, right?
Well,
where Strasburg's been elite his entire career.
I hear what you're saying, man. But again, like I think everybody was looking at Patrick Corbin and thinking like you're going to be the guy. This is what
could be the breakout.
You know,
but
like
maybe it was the breakout.
Because he was like 2-3 years there of like very, very good at baseball.
Yeah,
200
he
plus
peaked.
innings.
He peaked here. And then he got paid. So good on Patrick. You got the bag for sure, my guy. But you peaked, and then he's fallen off ever since. So he tricked everybody.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, at this point, like you can definitely say, like Patrick Corbin is 100% fraudulent. Like this is absolutely horrendous behavior. And if he wasn't getting paid $24 million, he would not be in the MLB. He would not even be close to the MLB at this point.
Not at all.
And just cycling this back to what we're talking about with Jose Berrios, that is what we worry about with the Jose Berrios situation, where it's like, you trick people right here. You got your money, and then it's like a completely different player after you got paid.
It is a bit worrisome for sure, but unfortunately for the Washington Nationals, you got to pay that guy until 2025. So that's pretty bad.
Literally, I would argue that they're probably not going to be good until then anyways. So,
I agree.
This is your rebuild.
A guy, actually a former Washington National, he left the Washington Nationals and got paid by the LA Angels. He's our next guy on this list, Anthony Rendon.
Yeah.
He got paid. It was, at the time, people were like, oh, it's a bit of an overpay. And I mean, rightfully so. $35 million average annual value is quite a lot. But same thing, if you look at his career, right? You've got a guy who's been getting better and better and better, and he peaked in that World Series year.
Yeah, he was incredible that year.
And look, he's still good, right? In 2020, he had a good year, but then here comes the injuries, and this is the factor. And then you go back to the field, and you're not healthy, and you're not paying $35 million per year for an average to below average player.
Yeah,
it's not good at all.
No, definitely not, man. And I mean, at this point, I don't think anybody knows what they're expecting out of Anthony Rendon. Like, I think we'd all love to see Rendon get back to what he was doing, because in his prime, he is one of the best hitters in baseball, right? Like, he had one of those best seasons. I think he finished as MVP 3 there, led his team to a World Series, got paid accordingly, and has just stunk it up ever since due to the injuries and the inconsistencies about being on the field. And it's just so difficult, right? Like, it's difficult in all sports, but especially in baseball where timing is such a factor. It's such a factor, right? How can you get in your rhythm? How can you be in tune with what the other pitchers are trying to do to you when you're still trying to figure out, like, is my healthy? Is my shoulder feeling good? Like,
how can you get the bat to the contact zone in time if you're just not up to speed with the game and you're not healthy?
Exactly.
Right? Like, and what sucks with the Angels, I mean, that's a franchise that's absolutely getting hurt a lot right now.
Yeah.
And not by Mike Trout. I mean, Mike Trout, I think it's worth every penny. But it's this guy. I mean, you have him till 2026, and is he going to be healthy by the time he's 36? Is he going to get back? I don't think so. This guy could be a Josh Donaldson in the future, honestly.
It is definitely possible, so I would be very worried if I'm an Angels fan because of this, because, again, this is one of those deals that could sink your entire team. And you could make the argument that, and I don't know if this is true or not, and you guys sound off in the comments, you let me know, but maybe if Anthony Rendon was fully healthy and in his MVP type, performance levels, do they make a playoff push at some point? Does that instill them to trade for other guys?
Possibly.
And then, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying that 3 MVP candidates could be playing on the same team if he was fully healthy.
I agree. I think absolutely. I mean, obviously he turns up, maybe gets a few more wins. You look at his WAR, maybe he gets like 4 or 5 more wins for your team.
100%.
Who knows? Now, the last guy on this list, I mean, we've had guys who have been injured and their performances have suffered, but this guy not so much. He's been injured, but the performance is there, and that's Chris Sale on the Boston Red Sox. Look, he was great for so many years, but the injuries in the last few years, I mean, he got injured for all of 2020, never played, got 9 starts in 2021, 2 starts in 2022, and you've seen the Boston Red Sox franchise turn on absolute corner because they have no pitching.
Yeah, 100%.
They needed this guy to be healthy.
They needed him, and when you look back, he signed his deal in 2019.
Yeah.
Signed his deal in 2019. In 2019, he had a pretty bad year as far as Chris Sale is confirmed. I think his ERA was something in the 4.5 range right there. Then he was out all of 2020.
Yeah.
And then he really hasn't been on the field at all since that point. So since he signed his contract, it's just been this kind of flurry of unluckiness and just like a bunch of injuries, but the bad performances in 2019.
Yeah.
And now we're at this point where I don't think anybody has any idea what to expect out of Chris Sale. And then you get these rumors where it's like Boston's trying to dump this guy. Like, we'll pay you to pay Chris Sale. It's like, we will pay you to get it. So they're at a point right now where it's like they're trying to do the rebuild and they can't because they're paying this guy way too much money.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a fraction of the larger picture of Boston Red Sox, but the point is, like, they could have had a different story if Chris Sale was healthy, right? Because they're paying him the money to be that elite ace that we saw, like, way back then before 2019. So he hurt the Boston Red Sox, and look at them now, folks.
I would say
probably 5th in the AL East.
I would say that Chris Sale probably has the highest potential out of all these guys to crawl out of that hole this year. Because I think this is the first year in a long time where Chris Sale's walking in. He's supposedly very healthy at this point. If he comes back, if he gets himself into that Cy Young conversation, like, immediately, like, total, like, switch of the script right here. Yeah. Now you can trade him off, get a bunch of value, or you can just hold on to him and be like, hey, this is our ace. Like, let's rebuild around him. Which is what they were trying to do for years.
That's what they're trying to do. Who knows, guys? But let us know in the comments down below. What do you think about these guys on this list? And do you have anyone else that we have missed? Let us know in those comments down below.
Yeah, also, guys, please make sure to like, subscribe, and $3 a month become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to every single one of our current Patreon members. You guys are awesome. And YouTube members, too. Woo! We're not forgetting about you guys. You can hop onto there. You get some sweet emojis. It's really cool.
And guys, thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go!